Rainbow makeup is more than just a trend. It's a language of rebellion, hope, and of course, art. Today we're tracing its journey from the 70s disco floors to the high fashion runways of Pat McGrath. If you are not familiar with the UK weather, it is around a time now of year where it is getting really hot, okay? The sun's out, meaning it is getting warmer outside, so I am starting this video with my hair down, but who knows? I'll give it about 5 minutes probably until I'm tying my hair up because I'm too hot. In the 70s, it wasn't about the full rainbow yet. It was about single pops of unnatural colour. Shimmery blues and greens absolutely dominated during this time period. Culturally, in 1978 though, somebody named Gilbert Baker hand-dyed the first ever pride flag in San Francisco, forever linking the rainbow to the LGBTQ plus community, like we know today. But as I previously said, in the 70s, it wasn't about the full rainbow just yet. Primarily people kind of stuck to the shimmery blues and greens and really earthy colours. Icons like Diana Ross rocking that incredibly iconic blue shadow. Madonna, Boy George, all icons when it comes to the introduction of bold, vibrant colour in the 70s and 80s. But it wasn't all just eyeshadows. Foundation, for example, was shifting from thick cream foundation sticks to glowy fluid bases. Kind of like we're seeing today. In 2016, for example, we were all about full coverage makeup. Full coverage foundation, really thick, really matte. But as the years progressed in the following 3 or 4 years, we saw that shift from matte foundation into glowy, dewy, glass-like skin. And this is my first interesting point about the whole just makeup beauty industry. We will go through these cycles. It's never kind of out of fashion completely. The trend is never out of fashion completely because we go through these stages of what's popular, what's trending, move on to something else, and then it's almost like we circle back again to where we first started. And I find it really interesting because there are so many people out there who change their whole appearance according to whatever trend is currently going on, what trend is currently popular. And it amazes me that people, first of all, have the mental capacity, the mental energy to be changing their appearance so frequently and so extremely, but also just how interesting it is that some people feel the need to go to this extent just for the sake of what's popular, what's hot, what's trending. Love yourself, hun. Find your style and stick to it. Says the person who can never find their style. I can't dress myself, okay? I throw on whatever is comfortable. I wear the same 3 outfits in rotation and I have done for the last like 8 years, so don't come to me for advice on fashion, okay? On trends, I just find it very interesting and I'm going to break this rainbow journey down in this video because I find it interesting. Please don't assume that I'm an expert in anything to do with fashion because I'll tell you now I'm not. I'm rubbish. The 70s overall was split into 2 kind of different categories, one being bohemian naturalism and the other being disco glam. Both of these though laid the foundations for everything that is to come. Following the heavy cakiness of foundations in the 60s, the 70s really saw a change in foundation, consistency and finish. Rainbow influences appeared through like soft, dreamy, ethereal washes of colour. A typical look for someone around this time would have been a single wash of blue, green or purple, all on the pastel side, paired with naturally bushy eyebrows. So even back in the 70s, bushy brows was a thing, and I think that's where it started originally, when everyone was in that kind of hippie era. These 2 things paired with a tanned, sun-kissed complexion was like ultimate 70s look, okay? It was the ultimate 70s look. Everyone wanted this. And if you didn't, you probably weren't in the 70s. I say that like I was born in the 70s. I was not. I was born 2 decades after that. So During the mid to late 70s is when club culture exploded. Okay, so in turn, so did makeup. Makeup became avant-garde and electric and just all the things that we love today. Bold, creative, fucking really just in your face rainbow makeup. I say we, I mean me. I love that. I don't know what everyone else's views are on it, but the more rainbow the better in my opinion. Give me them all. And this is where the true multicolour rainbow makeup really began. Shimmery, shiny eyes, using beautiful silvers and golds and vibrant greens and blues and just so much beauty. It looked absolutely incredible under disco lights, which is kind of where the term disco glam came from, because it looks amazing when you're at a disco. I personally would have loved to have been a teenager back in the 70s because, hello, I would not have left a disco. I would have gone in there with every single colour on my face and I would have stayed there, okay? I would have been taking photos. If phones were to have been a thing back then, you best believe I would have been taking as many selfies as my phone would hold. The 70s also saw the birth of rebellious makeup, meaning that people were shifting to prioritising pigment over prestige. The name. The brand. For example, a brand called byeeee Cosmetics, I've actually never heard of them, launched its pioneering line in 1970. It was known for its moody, vibrant pigments and Art Deco inspired packaging. byeeee moved away from homemaker ads and marketed directly to a younger, liberated generation. They obviously saw the shift from boring, in summary, makeup to bold, rainbow, colourful, gorgeous, stunning, bold, in-your-face makeup, and I think that is possibly the best thing to have happened in the whole history of makeup. What? Imagine if we were still wearing really boring shades. I'm not saying natural is boring. Obviously there's a time and a place for everything. I'm wearing natural makeup right now, in my opinion. But I just feel like, imagine if every single person in the world, everyone you interacted with, everyone you spoke to, everyone you saw on TV, anything, imagine if they were all wearing just neutral shades. Simple, not vibrant in the slightest eyeshadow. Thick, heavy foundation where you can't even see the natural glow that you've got inside. Imagine if everyone looked like that. I'd be ripping my hair out. I'd be so bored. I'd need to see some colour. I need to see colour on a daily basis. I don't know what it is. It's something in my brain. I need to see colour. If I don't see colour, I feel so depressed. Imagine if everybody did look like that. Just neutral, boring ass shades. We need that colour. Don't take the colour away. So another thing, I don't know if you've realised or if you've seen, but makeup in the 70s and 80s appeared to be a lot chalkier, eyeshadow specifically, than it is now. Yeah, you see? Now, when I was researching this, I did not expect to find what I found. I was like, what is going on here? Because it really is so simple, and I don't know why I've never thought about it before or bothered to like research it before, but in the 70s and 80s, eyeshadows were created using, you know, minerals, coal, things like that, and white fillers. Yeah, white fillers. These white fillers that they put into these eyeshadows meant that if you were to go blend two shades together, you'd find that it creates like a grey, muddy mess of a blend. It just wasn't great at all, and that is actually down to the filler itself. So for example, if you were trying to layer a blue eyeshadow over a yellow one, even just a little bit to blend, it'd turn into this awful grey mess, this muddy mess. We don't want that. Thank the Lord the times have changed and brands have started doing things the right way and making pressed pigments, because I just think hello, what? Well, I wouldn't be sat here talking about makeup, and I certainly wouldn't be doing it on a regular basis, because what the hell? I don't want to do that. I don't want muddy eyeshadow. I don't want grey on my face. I already suffer with that enough when I can't find my right undertone to my foundation. No thank you. No thank you, Jackie. Jim to Martin on the talkie-walkie. So, these days, pressed pigments, that's what we're about. Why? They're not chalky. Why? Because they're not mineral based. What does that mean? When you blend them together, you're not going to have that horrible grey muddy mess. Why? Because pressed pigments are so concentrated that they do not need any filler. So they don't have them. And what does this mean? It means that we can happily and very easily blend two different colours together without having a horrible mess. Ideal? I think so. And this brings me on to my next little tiny bit of information that I found very interesting. So on some eyeshadow palettes, you might find that it says pressed pigment palettes. Now, why does it say that, honey? That's because certain vibrant shades are not FDA approved, meaning they are unsafe basically to have around your eyes. It's usually shades like red and purple and pink. They cause, or can cause, temporary staining and irritation around your eyes. So in the US, I believe it is not actually allowed for them to sell anything that doesn't say pressed pigment instead of eyeshadow. But in the UK, they are a lot more lenient when it comes to that. I don't believe there are any like strict rules or guidelines around this. I'll have to do a little bit more research and let you know if you're interested. But yeah, wild. How It's something that I've seen on various different palettes, but it's not something I've ever really thought about. Do I think about anything? Probably not. Moving on into the 80s, this was the more is more era. Not the less is more. More is more. Oh yeah. It was the golden age of clashing. If someone was wearing blue eyeshadow, you better believe they had an orange blush and pink lip on with it. And then brands like MAC, oh, how we love you, MAC. You have revolutionised makeup for fucking decades now, haven't you? But this was possibly, I think it definitely was actually, their first revolutionary process. Error. First revolutionary thing that they did. Because what did they do? They provided the first highly pigmented, pro-only colours that could handle this sudden surge of everyone craving and demanding and being desperate for neon, colourful, rainbow pigments. It was a wild time to be alive, a time of blue mascara and frosty peach lipsticks. I know you know what lipstick I'm talking about, honey. And of course, people would put these in their caboodles. Have you heard of a caboodle? If not, here it is. It is literally just storage for your makeup. But back in the 80s, this alone was revolutionary. Why? Because you can fit everything that you have in that. And your dog. The 80s, in my opinion, was so much better than the 70s. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? This is definitely more my kind of style when it comes to makeup, because it was dominated in the 80s by bright, beautiful neon eyeshadows, dramatic blush applied to your temples, and bold, glossy lips. MAC stepped in to fill this gap that was there of just no kind of professional makeup. It seemed that the makeup that were available before MAC stepped onto the scene was just everyday makeup. It wasn't really stuff you could use on runways and, you know, high fashion events. So MAC quickly became popular for their unapologetic makeup, and in the late 80s they actually released Russian Red. And if you don't know what Russian Red is, here's a photo. This iconic shade was made for Madonna. Yeah, this shade here, the iconic Russian Red of MAC, was made specifically for Madonna. If I was her, that would be my whole personality. Everyone I would meet in the future would, that would be how I'd introduce myself. You know who I am? I am the one that MAC made their iconic Russian Red for. Oh yeah, honey, I'm that girl. What an achievement. I don't know if it's just me, but what? The most popular shade of red, the most iconic shade of red, I should say, and it was made for Madonna. For Madonna. Not just Madonna liked it, it was made for her. Literally. Imagine being able to say that about a makeup product. It was made for me. Yeah. And another major part to why MAC decided that this gap needed to be filled is because the makeup that were being used previously just could not withstand the intense photography lights of photography sessions. They were and still are incredible when it comes to inclusivity. They have such an amazing range of foundations and they really cater to every skin tone, which is something other brands just weren't doing. It's as simple as that, they weren't doing it. So because of this massive, massive spectrum of different shades in foundation, it quickly became a very, very popular brand for makeup artists to be using. And I can see why. You know, 4 decades later, MAC is still doing incredibly well. And I think, you know, that says a lot. In the 80s, people also saw the launch of the iconic MAC 217 brush. Just imagine being there for that launch. Imagine being alive when that launch happened and being able to remember what a fucking time to be alive it was. Really big advocates for MAC would have been Madonna, Cyndi Lauper. These were 2 very big artists who leaned more into the masculine, defiant side of makeup with their bold and defined, gorgeous looks constantly. But roughly 4 to 5 years before the iconic situation with the Russian red lipstick for Madonna, the first MAC store ever opened in New York. That was in 1985, and I can't believe how far we've come. I can't believe how far MAC have come since the 80s. It's mind-blowing. They are such a massive part, a huge part of makeup history, and they haven't even been around that long in comparison to brands like Estee Lauder, for example. I feel that going into the 90s, we were very, very heavily invested as a society, as a world, in what we would consider now to be soft glam makeup. Thin eyebrows, brown lip liner with a lighter lipstick, often quite a lot lighter than your natural skin tone, sultry smoky eye makeup, and I don't hate it. I think the 90s, makeup wise, was a beautiful time, really, really beautiful. But I do wonder what it would have been like if we were to have the same love for rainbow makeup and the same kind of instinct to go straight for colour like we do now. I wonder how that would have been in the 90s, because I can imagine some of the looks these celebrities would have been rocking. I cannot. But it's not a loss, because as the 2000s approached, that's where we kind of saw the cycle come back, where just like in the 70s, shimmery blues and greens were dominating. This lasted throughout the early 2000s, and then we get to the 2010s, and this is where it really, really just got so beautiful and interesting. Pat McGrath, I know you know about Pat McGrath, so we're not going to go into her full history, but she, in 2017, did the most iconic Maison Magielle, I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry, look I had ever seen, okay? She created this iconic rainbow eye look for the show at Paris Fashion Week. It included neon watercolour style hues that was applied in the most beautiful abstract shapes. Her work is characterised by rich metallic pigments such as gold and just stunning jewel tones. She frequently used colours alongside a range of different materials such as feathers, sequins and crystals for people like Alexander McQueen and Dior. So if you didn't know before, if you couldn't tell before, she's an icon. I genuinely feel like a combination of both MAC and Pat McGrath paved the way. They changed the history of beauty forever in a positive way, in the best way. We are now in a time where we are so comfortable just going outside with a literal rainbow on your face. And I love it. Okay? I'm obsessed. So, in conclusion, over the years, rainbow makeup has turned from something that should never have been seen on your face, something that caused clashing protests, into this beautiful new style and technique of doing your makeup. People being so comfortable to go outside in literally dressed as a rainbow, and more importantly, I feel like it's opened the door to so much more self-expression and in turn, acceptance. Not only is the rainbow a symbol of LGBTQ+, it is now a beautiful form of art to do on your face. And I just feel like it puts so much positivity without you even saying anything. If you're wearing colourful makeup, I feel like it puts out so much positivity. Your aura changes, you look more approachable, you look happier. Honestly, I can't describe the way I feel about rainbows. I can't describe the way I feel about so many colours in one. It looks beautiful and it gives me such a sense of... I feel like it calms my nervous system. And in my personal opinion, I think that everybody should be wearing rainbow makeup, okay? Even your dad, yeah? So next time your dad's feeling a little stressed or, you know, pessimistic, just say, have you tried some rainbow makeup? Because I really enjoyed talking about this today. I wish I could do a longer video, but I, as always, have places to be. So I will do a part 2 if it's something you want to hear me talk about more. But other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and I will see you in my next video, which should be a couple of days from now. It may be 3, but come on now, I don't even know what day we're on. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe if this channel is your vibe. Love you. Bye.